So I am going to go ahead and trace the steps of Fauna Frey from the Super 8 Motel to where she would have been heading at the Weasku Inn. And I'll also show you Fred Meyer and Big 5 Sporting Goods and how close everything is and what a busy area it generally would be. So let's go ahead and see that. So I'm on 7th Street in Grants Pass, and I don't know what's going on there. Somebody's honking at somebody. Here is the Super 8 Motel. I'm gonna go ahead and turn into here. It is right next to the freeway entrance and the only In-N-Out burger in Oregon. As far as I know, they haven't gotten a new one. So this is where she would have been spending the night. It's not really shady, but it is a Super 8 motel next to the I-5 freeway. And let's just drive around and turn around and come back over here. There's a La Quinta right next door. Looks like the parking lot is pretty bright and light. And so let's see what we can see from here. I pull over here. The hotel doesn't look like it has patios or balconies or any of that. Let's get out. And it's usually very gorgeous here, and you can see green, but it's very smoky because of the fires, the Oregon fires right now. You can see, here's the Super 8 Motel. There's the driveway. She would have come in and out. And over there, you can see, and if I turn this around, you can see the 5 freeway in the distance, where the In-N-Out burger is. So it's not, you know, it's a pretty busy area. It's not that it would be anything super remote here. She was last seen on the cameras here leaving. So that's where she would have been last seen, was leaving here. But like I said, let me turn the camera around. So today I'm going to take you along the route between the Super 8 and the Weasku Inn. Keep your eyes peeled. It's really not great viewing right now with the air quality being so smoky, but you'll get an idea of where she would have had to travel to get from point A to point B. And it really isn't anything remote or anything where you would get lost or you wouldn't be seen if you broke down. So after all my thinking about this, and we'll go over the information about what she purchased, but I have this weird, strange feeling that where was this hitchhiker we'll talk about that she picked up? I know law enforcement has spoken to the hitchhiker. What size clothes did she buy when she went to Fred Meyer and to Big 5? Were they her size? Was she talked to her dad about sometimes you run into people and they're angels? Was she trying to be an angel to this person? Did she go meet her and bring her flashlights? 3 flashlights? Did she go try to help this girl again and give her stuff and something happened? Someone in wherever this hitchhiker was staying, did somebody there do something to Fauna? Did they take her car? Did they steal? Or did she just join them? Police have talked to this person, but what's the report? What does it say? Can we find out? How can we find out? I'm super curious, and I think a private investigator would be really good on this case because there's so many questions, and not to be mean, but the Josephine County Sheriff's Department doesn't have the kind of manpower it takes to find somebody. So we're going to go over to the Weasku Inn, and you can see it here on Google Earth. I'm going to take you on a drive there now, and you'll see why this might be a place that she would have wanted to go. It's very quaint, much more quiet than being on the busy highway, and just a lovely, lovely place that I would see that she might want to go there, which makes me think that she was doing a favor for someone. 3 flashlights. Why? I'm scratching my head on that one. Really scratching my head on the flashlights. Okay, so we are going to go from the Super 8 Inn to the Weasku Inn. I initially thought maybe she would go on the freeway. It kind of loops you down into Jackson County and then back up into Josephine County. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think we should probably try this route through town because we know she did not have GPS or a cell phone with her. So let's try to go. 400 feet, make a U-turn. Let's try to go that way. The way that I think somebody local might have given her directions, or if she pulled out a map. Because
turn right onto Northeast 7th Street.
I don't.
In 300 feet, make a U-turn.
Anyways,
right
we've done both.
7th Street.
You'll see both. I have both options. I can map out the one on the 5 freeway, which doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a lot busier. You know, if she were to get broken down on the 5 freeway or something like that, she wouldn't have turned off into like a trail or a campground. So I think if we go through town and out the other way would make more sense if she had time to kill instead of going straight to the inn.
In 600 feet, keep right to continue on Northeast Scoville Road.
So there we would have gone on the 5 freeway, and it's so smoky. We're right in the middle of the Oregon fires here, so
keep right to continue on Northeast Scoville Road.
It's
then turn left to stay on Northeast
difficult
Scoville
right now
Road.
To see much, you know, the hills and the mountains, but it is covered by mountains and hills and trees, this whole entire area.
Turn left to stay on Northeast Scoville Road. Signs for DMV dot.
So I'm going to use the way you would go through town to get to the Weasku Inn. And this honestly is the way I would go. Being local, this is the way I would go myself. So we're going to do that.
For 3 miles.
Let's hope it works. Now, as far as the timeline goes of things that the reason why maybe Fauna was feeling really depressed, not herself, like her father says with the interview that he did on the other YouTube channel, her mom died in 2004, which was upsetting to her. In 2006, Fauna's younger sister passed away. In 2019, her golden lab passed away, so a year ago. And it sounds like she was very attached and loved the dog a lot and loved animals. On June 19th of this year, 2020, her brother Dallas didn't show up for work, so Fauna went over to Dallas's house and found him deceased, and she attempted CPR on him, but he died of a heart attack. I think that sounds like it real. Okay, now there is a blue Jeep Cherokee right there, interestingly enough. That was weird, right, guys? I don't think I'm going to be able to flip back around, darn it. Okay, well, that looked like a male driver, but it was a blue Jeep Cherokee. but I don't think I have the right license plates. But stolen cars. I'm taking a mild detour because I just happened to see a Blue Jeep Cherokee, but it's not going to help me because I lost it. Darn it. Okay, well, hopefully you got it in the camera. We can show the picture. Oh, that was really weird. I hope it got on the camera. I'm keeping my eyes peeled, people. I'm keeping my eyes peeled. But I lost it because this is a one-way street, so I can't go find it, unfortunately. Okay, well, we'll continue our way and keep our eyes out. Never know. That was kind of weird, though, that jumped out at me. Maybe it's just a sign that we're doing the right thing here. Wind up following every older blue Jeep Cherokee. Now I went past a Jeep dealer. What's happening? Alright, so we'll continue on the drive. So this is 6th Street in Grants Pass. It goes straight over the river. Seeing more than the road and the hood. Many times. On June 27th, 2020, so just like 9 days after her brother passed away, she and her dad, John, they were barbecuing at their home, and she decided that she was going to take a load of stuff to the dump. And then that evening, she drove her Jeep from Dexter, Oregon, down here to Grants Pass. 140 miles or so to get down here. She was going to bring some of her brother's belongings to a friend. According to the other YouTube interview, they're referring to it as some type of an inheritance. So I have questions whether she had money on her, like cash. Not sure. Would make sense not using your bank account, though, if you did have cash on you, possibly, right? You know, she could have come down here and gone through town, walked around a little bit. There's a lot of nice little shops. It's very quaint. There's restaurants, there's shops. And like I said, if she couldn't check into the Weasku Inn, she left the Super 8 at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. Most of the time you can't check in until what, 2, 3 in the afternoon to most hotels. And I would imagine the Weasku Inn is no different. Oh, smoky. This does not look like this little town. It's so pretty normally, but luckily we're not on fire here in this town. We're just living through the smoke. Now, that night, the 27th, she spent the night in her car. We don't know exactly where, who she may have interacted with at that point. But after that, is shown on, you know, on camera and stuff that she's been alone. She did not bring her cell phone with her on this
In 1,000
trip.
feet, keep left to continue on Oregon 99 South.
Now we're going over the Rogue River at this point.
Keep left to continue on Oregon 99 South.
She also, when she drove down, she didn't take any luggage with her. She didn't bring her computer. And she didn't bring her cell phone.
Continue on
From
Oregon
Dex,
99
from what I'm
South for 5 miles.
From what I'm understanding, she didn't bring a cell phone or luggage from Dexter, Oregon to Grants Pass, Oregon. Now, on June 28th, at some time during that day, not clear exactly when, she picked up a hitchhiker, a female hitchhiker, and she gives her a ride. She drops her off. The hitchhiker's identity is known to the police, and they have contacted her. Interesting, right? Wonder how they figured that out. Fauna goes to the home of her brother Dallas's friend Sean. She gives him some of her brother's belongings, and Sean said her car looked empty. Didn't look like it was loaded up with any kind of camping gear or anything like that. Man, the smoke is so bad. You can usually see where all that smoke is. You can usually see the hills, the mountains, the green, the forest. So you can see how much forest land and that is surrounding this entire valley area. So if the car was empty, they're saying that it didn't look like, it looks like she did make it to the dump, and it looks like she didn't plan to go camping when she saw Sean. And that was on the 28th. So after she visits Sean, that's when she checked into the Super 8 Motel in Grants Pass, where we just came from. And that was on the 28th of June. She does call her father, John, from the Super 8 Motel. And I will go over that more clearly when I'm not driving, because I want to read it word for word to you about what happens during that phone call. But basically during that phone call is when he tells her, maybe you should go stay somewhere a little bit less motel-y, more like a cabin, a retreat kind of minded thing is what I'm understanding. And so that's why she decides, it sounds like that's why she decided to pick the Weasku Inn, which, by the way, is kind of famous in these parts, and a lot of famous people have stayed there, and you'll see why. It's a gorgeous little inn. Oh my gosh, the mountain, you can't see it, is so smoky. I feel like I should have a ventilator mask on today. Now I'm gonna cough just thinking about it. Okay, so now we're getting out, like, along the left side of my vehicle, my car, is the Rogue River. This is a two-way highway, Highway 99. And this goes into Jackson County, which is the way we're headed. But, you can see that there's some turnoffs. This big area to the right is more kind of mountainous-y, going up into the hills. You could there are hiking trails and stuff. This is kind of a resort, or like there's motels along here, along the river. There's cabins, there's motorhome parks, stuff like that. And as you can see on the right, it's more foresty. RV park on the left. But there's homes along here. There's traffic, there's cars going by. It's the middle of the day, which is, she would have been driving in, if she did head this way, she would have been driving in the morning. There's abandoned houses and stuff too. She could have mapped out, we should look and see if there's any, like, along this way. I mean, Oregon is such a big state, but I'm just thinking, in my mind, I'm thinking, would she really planned to come on over to the Weasku Inn and she never got here? Where would she have gone where she would have disappeared? They say there's sightings of her elsewhere, but not confirmed. But if she was not going to go to the Weasku Inn, don't you think she would have called and canceled if she changed her mind and started to move on somewhere else instead of being charged? And like her friend says, it's kind of bizarre because no activity on her credit card since the night before she was leaving the Super 8. My concern is that somebody followed her, and maybe she did decide to pull off in one of these areas, go hike herself. Her dad said she's comfortable hiking and camping. She did take flashlights and stuff, but I'm thinking if she was staying at the Weasku Inn, she probably, or planning on staying there, she probably got, now this is just my ideas and theories, but she probably got the flashlights and the lanterns and stuff because she probably looked to see what kind of hiking trails or camp kind of hiking trails she could go locally while she was staying at the inn. So what I want to look up is map out where maybe along this way. I'm going to go check in at the Weasku Inn later this afternoon, but on the way there, let me pull down one of these trails along the river, up into the hills here, and she had her supplies. She had her Burt's Bees, she had her supplies. She had her 2 Fosters from the night before, though. But she did have stuff she did have items to go out in the forest or camping or trails. So I'm assuming she planned on staying at the Weasku Inn, but she was going to take the opportunity to explore the area as well, the nature part of the area along the river and what trails there may be. And if she had time before she was going to have to clock in, she may have gone on one of the trails near the area, drove down to wherever the trailhead might be, or pulled in as far as she could, and either someone took her car, or maybe she fell and got hurt, and her car's back there somewhere. Or maybe she's living off the land, off the grid. That would be the best hope, to be honest. You know, that she actually.
In a quarter mile, your destination will be on the left.
Okay, so we're almost there. And I will pull in. There it is on the left. Now she could have, like I said, she could have came from the other direction, but somehow I feel like if she mapped it out herself, she wouldn't have went all the way down to Jackson County and flipped around to come up here. So I'm gonna turn around, but it's a lovely, lovely little area for sure. And then I'll get out and show you. So I just pulled into the Weasku Inn. It says no vehicles this way. Let's see if we can walk around for a second. So it has like little cottages and cabins along there, down there, maid service. Really cute. It actually says there's no vacancy, so it's pretty popular, and it's in a really gorgeous little spot, but it's not super remote or isolated. People are keeping the grounds nice. They're pretty. Little tables and chairs and a deck area. There's no vehicles beyond this point, but she never checked in. She never checked in, so she never even made it this far. But this is why she would have wanted to go somewhere kind of quiet and remote. You can see that it is literally a place that is serene, quiet. It's on the river. Makes me want to come stay here. Cabins, river. We can see if we can see the river area. See the river over there, maybe. There's no vacancy though. Anyways, you can tell it's just a pretty little quiet area that you would come and stay in if you wanted to get away from it all. And the lodge part over there is very nice. What little walking trails. So I can see why she would want to come here. It makes sense. Instead of staying over there by the freeway area. There's even houses butted up close by, so Right? Weird. She never got here, which is amazingly beautiful little motel area that anyone that would want to come for a nice little romantic or quiet time or time alone or peaceful. It's so quiet, but you're still so close to main town. I'm going to take you back through town the way I would have gone so that you can see where Fred Myer and Big Five are. I want to go over the actual timeline of the disappearance. What happened and why maybe some of the circumstances from her life could have led her to be kind of distraught, making some not so smart decisions, or making the decision to take the trip. Things happened in her life, so her dad was definitely concerned about her for a lot of reasons. So in 2004, her mother passed away. In 2006, her younger sister passed away. In 2019, her beloved golden lab passed away. On June 16th, 2020, so this month, right before she disappeared, Fauna's older brother, Dallas, didn't show up for work. Fauna, Dallas, and their father, John, work together. They build homes. Fauna goes to Dallas's home and discovers, so her brother Dallas didn't show up for work. So she went over to his home and she discovered that he has passed away from a heart attack, but she did do CPR. But Dallas does pass away. That was on June 19th, 2020. On June 27th, 2020, Fauna and her dad, John, have a barbecue at their house that they share. And then she leaves. She told her father she was taking a load of items to the dump. That evening, the 27th of June, 2020, she drives her Jeep from Dexter, Oregon, so about 140 miles, to Grants Pass, Oregon. She spends the night in her car at an unknown location, and she doesn't bring any luggage that they're aware of. She does not bring her cell phone. She does not bring a cell phone either. On June 28th, 2020, at an unknown time, she picked up a female hitchhiker and gives her a ride. She drops her off. Now, the hitchhiker's identity is known to the police now, and they have contacted her. Fauna goes to the home of her brother Dallas's friend, Sean, and she gives him some of her brother's belongings. Sean says her car looks pretty empty, making it likely that she'd made it to the dump yesterday and unlikely that she was planning on camping. After visiting Sean, she checks into the Super 8 Motel in Grants Pass, Oregon, which I'm showing you on the drive. She calls her father, John, from the motel, and he says she sounds distraught. She talks about her mission to give some of her brother's belongings to his friends, and she mentions giving the ride to the hitchhiker and says the hitchhiker reminded her of someone that her and her father knew. She talks about kind people you meet in life, being angels on earth. She tells him she met with Sean, that's the brother's friend, and wants to meet up with her late mother's boyfriend and a friend of Dallas. John encourages her to check into a more comfortable place, like a cabin instead of the motel. And Fauna tells John she'll call him once she checks into her new hotel, which will be the Weasku Inn, also in Grants Pass. Fauna tells her father she wants to shower and is going to the store to pick up some things she needs. This is the last known contact that Fauna has with her father, John, or with anyone. Fauna's credit card is used at 2 stores that evening after a phone call. She uses it at Big 5 Sporting Goods in Grants Pass. She purchases a lantern, 3 flashlights, capris, tennis shoes, a sports bra. At the Grants Pass Fred Myer, she purchases socks, VO5 shampoo, Pantene conditioner, 2 Burt's Bees, I'm assuming chapstick, 1 deli sandwich, 1 bag of potato chips, some active wear clothing, and 2 cans of Foster, so this will be beer. Fred Myer video footage captures her walking to her car wearing a neon green and purple pullover. They did confirm that Fauna arrived back to her room at the Super 8 hotel after her shopping trip alone. So that was all on June 28th. On June 29th, Fauna leaves the Super 8 motel about 8:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning with her bags and personal belongings. That is the last confirmed sighting of Fauna. She does not show up for a hotel reservation at the Weasku Inn, and I'm driving you past there, in Grants Pass. The inn charges her credit card since she never canceled the reservation, but she never shows up. This is the last activity on her credit or bank accounts. On July 5th, John, Fauna's father, reports her missing. A missing persons report is filed in Josephine County where she was last seen. And that's where we're at with this. So when you see the drive, and I will do it again on a clearer day, maybe go a little slower where there might be some turnoffs or something like that. We can explore a little bit. I'll get someone to go with me and we'll see what else we can come up with here. But to get us started, this is the timeline. This is where she was last seen. This is the area. And let's put our heads together. Let's find Fauna. Back over the river. Back to the motel this way, because this is the way she would have gone back to the motel if she was before she checked out. So I'm in the parking lot of Fred Myer. As you can see, again, a rather busy area in just like any middle American town in the U.S. Big, huge grocery store, Fred Myer, lots of people in and out, lots of restaurants close by, busy road, and not really a secluded area whatsoever. She came here in the middle of the day. Somebody might have followed her, who knows? But I feel very comfortable here. It's not something that's shady or would be shady at all. you're right in the middle of a normal West Coast town, Western United States town. So Big 5 is just across the way. We'll go there, and then I'll take you back to the hotel the way she would have gone. Just a regular, again, Fred Meyer's is just across the street. Regular sporting goods along the main road. There's a Subway, an Applebee's, a grocery outlet, a Big Lots, a Dollar Tree, an H&R Block. I cut off the video because there was a lot of traffic in the parking lot, and I didn't want to waste your time watching me drive through parking lots. But if you can see right here, here's Fred Meyer. Here's Big 5. This is 199. You literally just cross from one shopping plaza, little road here, across to the other, and Big 5's right here. So just going from here to here and trying to get right across this little road, and there's a light here. It was taking me forever, so like you don't need to see all that crap. Here's the satellite view. So it's 0.3 miles. It's across the street, basically. And then let's move this from here. And so you don't really need to see the route, but let's go back to Super 8 by Wyndham after she leaves Big 5. Either way, I don't know which one she went to first, but it is 3.1 miles to go there. So she would have gone back to Super 8 by Wyndham that night because we know she didn't go until the next day. Again, you can see it's a pretty congested area and not anything crazy. It's regular old normal, area that you would do it. But if you pull out and you look at the surrounding areas, there's lots and lots and lots of hills, trails. These are probably all logging roads, I'm guessing, that you could go through. And the Rogue River runs right through this town. And then if I put the Super 8 up here, and I put Weasku here, and again, there's the map. So here is the map of where we went. We went from the Super 8 Motel in Grants Pass. Here's the 5 freeway. It goes along this way. We went all the way down here and bebopped over all the way to the Weasku Inn. The other way you could have gone was along the 5 freeway. Let's see. Make sure that this didn't take us. Yeah. So this is the way I would have went. If we walked, it would take 2.5 hours, but I am assuming she drove. And we want to do vehicle. There you go. So depending on which way you go, we went this way. Okay. You could go on the 5. One of the maps took me along the 5 and then down here and back around this way. I don't think she would have gone that unless she wanted to be on the freeway and GPS, but kind of goes out of the way. And then otherwise, I personally would have gone the way we went in the car. You can look at the satellite image, which gives you a view of, lots of forest and stuff out there. And then the other thing I was going to look at on here, if I can figure it out. Let's see. Let's do a search. Hiking trails near Weasku. So there's a bunch of them. There's a Skycrest Trailhead, which literally, you guys, I can walk to it. And then let's see, go back. What other? Trails, hiking trails. This thing's random. That's not what I want. I want to get rid of this. I don't want directions. I just want okay, so there's Skycrest Trailhead, which is right here. There's Dollar Mountain Trailhead, which is, where's that one? Over here. Back the other way. Beacon Trailhead. Oops. Which is here. There's another one, RCC Ruckman Memorial Trailhead, which has 5 stars. Pierce Rifle County Park. That one might be, that's very close to the Weasku Inn, this one. And it's by the water. It's right on the river. Easy access to water and also some trails. Cathedral Hills is very popular. People talk about Cathedral Hills all the time. And there's comments, probably one of the nicest and most diverse trails near Grants Pass that there are Cathedral Hills. Gorgeous views and stuff up there. Enchanted Forest Trail. I mean, there are just so Tom Pierce Park, which is again over here, closer to the river. Gilbert Creek Park, Nebraska Canal Trail. I mean, as you can see, there's so much we need. There would just be drones would be awesome. Maybe once fall hits, it'll be easier to see with drones and the darn fires go away. This one here, Palmerton Park, says great spot for hiking on the river. Because someone mentioned that she loves the river water. Grayback Hiking Trail. I mean, there's so many places, but I would think from what I'm reading about her is the places that she would want to go, I would think would be on their way, but she had a lot of time to kill, so it could be anything in the area. And if she's comfortable out there, I don't know, such a mystery, but there's a lot of pavement to pound. And I would start close and just work your way out. My gut feeling is that she's not just driving her Jeep around from town to town. I just don't get that sense. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I don't know her. But the fact that she's not using money or anything makes me feel like there's something nefarious that happened, you know? And my hope is that she's living out here off the grid somehow. So here's where I would start. Any of those. There's plenty. There's plenty of options. That's actually a park. I would like to see. Cathedral Hills is supposed to be really nice and has a view of the whole valley. As you can see, there's lots to explore. Lots and lots and lots to explore. And then if you go back over to the Weasku Inn, on Google Earth, and just literally right there is the Rogue River, and lots of open spaces. So that's about what I got right now as far as being able to go through the map and the area on the map. But I really think that there's some great options of where to look, and people on foot, drones, and just more visuals, and just more in depth. But look at that forest on the left side. It's a lot of area to cover if someone were to be in there. Thanks again for watching Left Undone, Incomplete Investigations on Catherine. We will talk about this on Saturday. I also have another case that I've been told about that is basically really important to follow, and we will get started on that one as well. Thanks again. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and I will see you soon. Stay well, be safe.